I'm Dina Stewart.
And I'm Stuart Stewart.
And we're syndicatednews.net, live on South Beach. Welcome to our show. This week we have an interesting episode with the mayor of Miami Beach.
Here we are on Lincoln Road, and I'm sitting next to MATTI HERRERA Bauer, who will go into the history books as the first woman mayor of Miami Beach, and I think the first Latin mayor of Miami Beach.
Yes.
And I think the first Latin mayor in the country. No? Okay,
no.
Didn't get that one.
No, let's not go that far.
Two out of three isn't bad.
Yeah, no, that's good.
Anyway, when you became the first female mayor, Miami Beach was basically an old boys network, and everybody was just for the boys. I remember another lady commissioner who talked about there wasn't even a restroom for the commissioners.
Goodness, yes, I remember that.
Since you've become mayor, how have you shaken things up?
Well, I don't know that I've shaken things up, but I know that a lot of people have been happy in the sense of having a woman mayor. I think that women as a whole, whenever they see me, they're very happy that I have broken the glass ceiling here in Miami Beach. You know, there has only been, I think, 6 women commissioners in Miami Beach in all the years.
That's what, about 90 years already?
Yeah, 95, I think, already. So it's interesting that such a progressive city did not have more women in the commission.
Well, now I got to ask you some mayor questions.
Okay, good.
Okay. I got a few emails from people who have had experiences with the police department. And it's not that they had bad experiences, it's just that they felt the way they were spoken to by the police department made them feel bad for even asking questions like what's going on or can I get through or something like that. Do you think there's a need to sort of sit down with the various police and show them that the way they're approaching the public is not only offending people, but it's putting people off, and a lot of people are starting to feel that this isn't the greatest police force in the world, and they are. They're one of the best, and it's a public relations problem.
Yes, I know that. I get the complaints also. We are doing more training, and that's what it needs, education on how to treat the people. And we're doing more of that. As you know, we've had a few incidents and we've addressed them very seriously so that we send a message that the police in Miami Beach needs to be a good police force, a great police force, an excellent police force, that we are not going to tolerate anything but excellency.
And also a polite police force.
Well, I was going to say, and the training would go into be more polite. We had the same thing happen back before I was elected, even as a commissioner. We had a police force and we went into intense training and we changed that around. So hopefully this will change it around too.
You know, Lincoln Road is to South Beach what Broadway is to New York, and if you hang out long enough, everybody walks on it. And while we were talking to the mayor, we got a surprise visit from Mr. Miami Beach himself.
Welcome! How are
Look
you?
who's here. Ladies and gentlemen, turn around and look at the camera. This is Mr. Miami Beach, Michael
Sit down,
Aller.
Michael, pull up a chair. Michael is called Mr. Miami Beach because we have something on the beach. Instead of talking about the not so good thing, we're going to talk about the very good thing that no one knows. And Miami Beach is probably the only in the country and probably the only in the world that we have 24/7 telephone calls, and they're directed to Michael Allen.
Here's one right now.
And this is about tourism. It's about if a tourist that comes into the city has a problem, he's directed to Michael Aller, and he tries to solve the problems as the problems arise. Isn't that so?
Absolutely.
And he is great at his job because people rave about him from all over the world. I've been to Europe and I mentioned South Beach. He said, you know Michael Aller? He helped me with a problem.
Really?
Yeah.
That's
so
very
you see,
complimentary.
you're world famous and not just on Miami Beach.
Well, I think that it's important, especially with Mayor Bauer at our head, that we show the world that we care and that we are interested in whatever they need and whatever we can do to assist them in making their stay on Miami Beach even better, and to go home with a great message and to rebook.
Thank you for coming, and thank you for stopping by.
Thank you so much for having me. And thank you to everybody that is looking, listening, and partaking of this event.
We were invited to the opening of a Peruvian restaurant on Española Way. And while we were there, in this Peruvian restaurant, we met a man who is a candidate for the presidency of Peru. The man standing next to me at one time ran for the presidency of Peru. His name is Alejandro Arce. And welcome to our show.
Oh, thank you very much. Very kind of you to
You have an amazing past. I know you were a scientist. I know you were a politician.
Right.
And I know that you're an excellent artist. And tonight I discovered that you're also a good dancer.
Good exercise.
Where do you get all this energy?
Well, you know, I have a condition that is incurable. And as far as my doctor told me, it's not going to kill me, but it's going to bother me. It's amazing that while I am exercising, I'm working or doing any type of mental activity, I don't have palpitations. As long as we follow a healthy media, it will be acceptable. You know, if we become too radical in one sector or the other, we are not building, we are destroying.
Can I ask you something else? Would you share your age with us?
Yes, I'm 77 years old. In 1 month I'm going to be 78.
And you don't look a day over 58.
Well, I would say I'm a good-looking man for my age.
Well, thank you very much. It was nice talking with you.
Okay, hey, thank you.
Although South Beach has been a brand name that's known around the world, Miami Beach has another area called North Beach. And in North Beach this week, the old Byron Carlisle Theater has reopened as a venue for musical productions. And last night we got to meet the producing director of the Stage Door Productions, which new show called Suds has opened up at the theater. I'm standing with Dee Bunn, who is the executive producer for the Stage Door Theater. And this is the first time that they're doing a production here on Miami Beach at the beautiful Byron Carlisle Theater. First of all, welcome to Miami Beach.
Thank you. We're very excited to be here.
Why did you pick this theater?
We, of course, have been in Broward for 18 years, and we're one of the large regional theaters up there, and the city of Miami Beach was looking to find a permanent resident for the Byron Carlisle. And so they approached us about it, and at first we didn't think we wanted to come to Dade County, but we started to look at it, and the culture, and the events, and the way that Miami embraces the arts. It's a great community for the arts. And then we looked at the theater, and it was beautiful, and we think there's a great opportunity here because there are no musical theaters up on this end of the county. There's so many restaurants, there's so many hotels. Tourism has always worked well with theaters because as people come into town, they want something to do at night. We look forward to working with the restaurants in the area. That's always so important to a theater company and to the restaurants as well. And through that, you rejuvenate whole neighborhoods.
I know, and North Beach, the north end of Miami Beach, really could use something like this. Because this is an important part of the city, and it doesn't get the kind of attention that South Beach does.
Sure. So South Beach has become so huge, people forget about this end.
This is going to be a great asset for the neighborhood, and I'm so happy that you're here.
Thank you so much. We look forward to it.
Thank you.
You know, a very strange thing happened while I was filming your interview at the Byron Carlisle Theater. Here you were speaking with Dee Bunn, the executive producer of the show, and suddenly a very well-dressed woman, older woman, walked over and stuck her finger in front of the camera while we were filming. It blew my mind, and I know it certainly rattled you and Dee, the lady you were interviewing. What was this woman thinking?
Well, I think it's not what was this woman thinking. She thought that was probably thought that was a cute thing, or she was senile or in the early stages of dementia. But she was all dressed up and sophisticated looking, and it was very disappointing that she had a need to get attention that way, because that's what I think it was all about. And there's a bigger problem that's happening in our society. Everybody wants to be in show business, and everybody thinks whatever they do is worth catching on camera, and through that they're going to become famous.
But she didn't show her face.
No, she ran.
I don't think it had anything to do with that, quite frankly. I think it has more to do with the fact that there are no boundaries anymore in terms of people respecting one another, in terms of people being civil to one another. You see it in the news shows, you see it in the movies, you see it all over on television, you see it in the schools, wherever you go. People are rude, they have no respect for one another, and it doesn't seem to matter. Bad behavior is becoming the norm, and I don't understand why, or maybe I do understand why people are basically angry and frustrated at what's going on politically, economically, and everyone is just so out of control that little bits of their frustration and anger are being taken out on others in very bizarre ways.
Well, I think a lot of people just don't want to take responsibility for what has happened to their little world and what's happened to our bigger world. Our leadership appears to be broken based on the way they acted like high school kids in an intramural contest. Our education system is broken, our roads is broken, our housing system is broken. All of our systems are broken down, and instead of people saying we've got to fix them, they want to blame somebody else because it's not their fault. And as long as everybody is pointing the finger at somebody else, nothing's going to get fixed.
And this is just an example of somebody using her finger inappropriately.
Well, if this lady happens to be listening, I'd like to give her the finger.
In that group right there. In that group. 67. Stop. 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 In that group. Simmons on the fingers entering through the door. Beside a bus stop.
The Hollies.
Yeah, she got it.
Hollies, there you go. And remember, all I need is a yeah that I breathe just to love you. Seems it never rains in Southern California, but man, it pours. Who did that song? What guy did that song? Never rains in Southern California.
The Eagles?
Huh?
Eagles?
One hit wonder.
Oh, one hit wonder. I don't know.
Albert Hammond. Albert Hammond.
Okay.
Guys, have a psychedelic, groovy verb. Have a funky groovy night.
Another moment with Mitch.
And so we reached the end of another episode of SyndicatedNews.net, live on South Beach. I'm Dina Stewart.
And I'm Stuart Stewart. And tune in next week because we guarantee we'll have a completely different kind of show with a little bit of this and a little bit of that.